Great day, everyone. My name is Bertha Germany. Got a question for you. Have you ever had a dream in your heart and it seemed like it was impossible to reach? Because you felt like you were inadequate, you were divorced, single mom, maybe mountains of debt, bad credit? Well, I'm going to tell you now, that was me. About 20 years ago. But I had a hard time after my divorce. And I know it's some ladies out there who've been divorced. I want to let you know today, it's going to be okay. You can make it. Well, my story started with me on the couch because I had always been an entrepreneur, and back during those years, I had a thriving business. I had a child care business, but I wanted to make my marriage work. So I left town and I ended up coming back all to start all over again. So when I was laying on that couch, I tell you, I wanted to die. At least I thought. Until the funeral home people came up and wanted to show my mother burial plots. And when they did that, I said, well, maybe it's not time for me to go yet. Okay. So anyway, a friend of mine called me, and she was just calling me from another state, and she just wanted to give me some encouragement. Well, my number one point to you is you need good friends around you. If you have great friends that can encourage you and build you up, especially in the hard times, that's what you want around you. You want like-minded people. Well, she called and she started building me up and telling me and reminding me who I was in Christ. And so, by the way, I am a woman of faith, and I want to encourage you to love the Lord with all your heart and all your soul and all your mind, because I tell you, that's what's going to help you make it through your businesses and everything. But going back to the story, when she encouraged me that day, I got up, got my hair done, told myself that I was worthy. And sometimes you just have to talk to yourself. Now, I'm talking to y'all ladies out there. You need to get in the mirror and tell yourself that you look good, that you are fearfully and wonderfully made. You know, you got to tell yourself these things, because if no one is telling you that, you need to tell yourself that. So you don't have to have a validation from anyone. You validate your own self. So anyway, I started validating myself and started reminding myself of my worth. So once I did that, I went to the beauty salon, got my hair done, and I walked out and I said, hey, I am single now, and this is a fresh start for me. It always seems like it's over when you're down and out. You think you're the only one in that predicament. But you're never the only one in that predicament. And I'm going to tell you also that people get divorces all the time, and you're not the only one that has had a divorce. So I want you to remember that too. You're not the first, and you won't be the last. So you encourage yourself and get yourself up and go on out there and do what it is that you need to do. And even if you have to do it scared. And that's why I chose that title, Do It Scared, because I was scared all the way, but I had to do it. And that's what we have to do. We have to just pull our boots up and get on out there and do what we need to do. So I thank God that I was able to pull out my beauty shop certificate, actually my beauty license, because I got my beauty license when I was in high school. And that's another thing that I would like to recommend to you young ladies. Make sure that you have multiple streams of income, okay? Because that will help you in the long run. Because when one thing goes down, you got another one to pick you back up, and you'll never be destitute. You'll always have something, even if it's not that much, but you'll have something, so you won't be destitute. But anyway, I pulled up those beauty license, went to work in a beauty salon, to some people who really knew me from before, and they were wonderful owners. And I went there, started working, but it really wasn't enough because my mom got ill. And when she got ill, I tell you, she was diagnosed with diabetes, and it just devastated me. And boy, I tell you, it was just her and I, and you know, I was the only child, and that was really tough on me. And so my clients, you know, they weren't coming fast enough, so I had to go get another part-time job. And so I went to the airport, and they hired me at the airport as a security guard. How about that? And you should have seen me. My uniform was so large. It was hanging off me, and it was really a funny thing. But I enjoyed that job, and I met a lot of people through the airport. Anyway, I went to work there. Really was tough. Mother started ailing. She got really bad. I had to buy medications, and it was just really a tough time for me and stuff. A lot of people don't know how you struggle like that and how high medications and things are. But anyway, I just trusted God, and He brought me through that tough time. But I had to take my mom to many doctors, flew her out to California to get her legs checked out, and all of them were saying that she needed to get her legs amputated. And I tell you, that day when she came home and her legs were amputated, I had to hold back the tears because I had to be strong in front of her. I didn't want her to see me cry. And it was just a really tough time. But I kept cheering her up, kept reading her the word, and just tried to encourage her, you know, and tried to be strong in front of her. But I ended up getting sick, and my boss lady, she ended up taking care of me during this period of time. And I just thank God for her and her life. And she took care of me for about a week or so till I got back up on my feet again, and Mother was out in California getting those tests done. But when she came back, they did amputate her legs. She got her legs amputated. I ended up having to get her lift and just help her. So it was really a tough time. So I can understand, and I sympathize with people who have elderly parents. You know, I understand that. I know what you go through when you have to take care of someone, and it's really hard. I went to the Brewsters, and they were excellent people. And I went to them, and I told them I wanted to buy their beauty salon. But I didn't have any money. Now, you know, you have to be pretty crazy to go up to someone and tell them you would like to buy their beauty salon and you don't have any money. Well, the only thing I did have was a rental property. And so I told them that, you know, I had been through a divorce. My credit was messed up, you know. So that's another thing I want to let you all know, that, you know, if you're negotiating with someone, let them know up front that, you know, if your credit is messed up, let them know. Said, hey, you know, don't try to hide anything. Always be honest, you know, because when they pull up credit reports and all of that, you know, if it comes up and you didn't tell them, then they're going to automatically probably just disqualify you. But you don't want to be disqualified. We want to believe God for you to have favor. And that's what happened to me. I had favor with them, and that didn't matter to them. They were willing to work with me, And I tell you, that was the best day of my life. I shouted in their living room. We were just rejoicing because they could have sold it to the people next door and gotten all of their money, but they were willing to work with me, and I cherish them to this day. Anyway, they told me that the beauty shop was mine, and they were willing to work with me, and they worked out all the payments. So I told you that to tell you, just even if you're scared, go talk to the people that you need to talk to. Do your homework. Do what it is that you need to do. Don't be afraid. You know, God didn't give you the spirit of fear, but love and power and a sound mind. So you got to step out in faith and do what it is that you need to do in order to get where you need to get. And it's gonna take faith. You know, it might seem like it's impossible, but you gotta without faith, it's impossible to please God. So you got to step out in faith. You got to do, and you got to do it scared. So that's what I did. I did it scared. And that was the best thing that could have happened to me. I have to give God the glory because, you know, later on I met a man, and he's my husband, my king, Isaiah Germany, during that time. And I had been praying during that time because I knew if my mother went home to be with the Lord, I was going to be okay. But I wanted a man in my life, and I wanted someone who could really handle up on what all I had going, because I was working at the beauty salon and working another job, and I just asked God for a mate who would take us as a package deal. And so when he came into my life, he took us as a package deal. But I say that to encourage you women who are single. You know, you will find love again if that's what you want, you know, but you have to want it. And don't get into the talk of just not wanting a man and all of that when you really do, because you have whatsoever you say. And like I said before, death and life is in the power of the tongue. Now you can draw life to you, or you can draw death to you. So I choose life, and that's what I did. And with him, he was the best thing that ever happened to me. And we began to talk. And as we were dating, I had told him about, I had a door at the beauty salon that really needed fixing. And so we started talking, and he said he could come up and fix my door, and he could save me some money. Well, saving money, when I heard that, I was like, okay, well, come on up. And from that point on, he came up and looked at the door, and the door didn't get fixed till 2 years later. But we got married. We got married. He was on vacation, and it was just an awesome time. And my mother just fell in love with him. I believe she would have married him if I didn't. But anyway, I was just so excited, and things just started taking off for us. And he was just a wonderful man, and plus he loved children too. And, you know, I always wanted to get back in the daycare field, but I didn't know how I was going to get back there. But at the time, I was working at the airport, and so I had moved from security on to working for the airline, and just really progressed and moved up. The Lord just really just started moving me up on my job and stuff, but I still needed more funds and to get where I need to get. And so, you know, sometimes you go on a roller coaster ride. Sometimes you go from job to job to get where it is that you need to get. But, you know, don't leave one without having the other. Because I see a lot of people, a lot of young people that jump and don't have another job. They just jump. So stop jumping around and get settled, and then you'll be able to get established. So that's what I did. I went ahead and I got another job, got settled in that, because I started moving into the thing that I really, really thought I was called to do, which was working with children. And I love kids, and I love childcare, but I had to start all back over. So I ended up working at Head Start. I thank God for a lady giving me favor and was able to get me in, and I was able to work and there, and really enjoyed it as a really an assistant to a teacher. But even though I had already had my own business, I went in there with all my pride and just put things aside. All my teachings and everything that I knew, I had to learn their way. You know, sometimes you go into a job, you don't go in a job acting like you know everything. You know, you go in there and you get training and get trained their way. And so that's what I did. I went in there and I got trained, and I enjoyed that training. Well, one day they put on a tape by Les Brown. Well, I didn't know who Les Brown was. We were having a training meeting, and he said something like the richest place in America is the graveyard. And then he said, I'm gonna give you a moment to think about that. And I started thinking about that, and I was like, wow, the richest place is the graveyard. What is he talking about? And so he come back on and he said, because so many people die without doing their dreams. Boy, that spoke volumes to me. And I started thinking about that, and I remembered that day I was laying on that couch, really thought I wanted to die. And I was like, man, I don't want to leave here without doing my dream. And I really realized that childcare is what I needed to do. So here again, I went home, but I was so excited from what he had said to me. You know, one word from God can change your life forever. And that phrase changed my life forever. And so I went home and I told my husband, I said, babe, we have got to start a child care center. And what I didn't tell you at the beginning was that same little room where I started my beauty salon, because I started my beauty salon in my house many years ago. I turned that little room into a child care center. Well, everything started in my home. And that's another thing I need to tell you, that some young people out there, you think things happen overnight. Well, they don't. For many, many years, I sacrificed my bedroom in order to, and I turned these businesses, and every business that I had happened in that little room. But I sacrificed now that was my bedroom, and I sacrificed my bedroom for many, many years. I didn't have a bedroom. I had to use another room and sleep in a twin bed. A lot of people don't know that that's what I did, but I had to sleep in a twin bed, and my mom slept in another bed, but I had a twin bed in her room. And so those were days that, hey, you have to ask yourself a question. How bad do you want it? How bad do you want it? If you really want your dreams, you will sacrifice, you will turn little rooms into work out of your house, work out of your car. You would do what you need to do to get it started. Like I said, everybody fails, and don't feel bad if you fail. Because if you fail, that's just another opportunity to get back up again and do it again. But you might want to try it a different way, So, everybody fails. So I want to encourage you that if you fail, get up, try it again. Do it a different way maybe the next time, Or, I heard a gentleman say, sometimes you have to try it maybe 6 times. Because, my favorite book is the Bible. And the story about the walls of Jericho falling down, they had to walk around the wall 6 times, but that 7th time the wall came down. So sometimes you have to do things over and over and over and over again. But maybe that seventh time, some things may happen for you. So don't be so easy to give up. Don't give up. You got to keep going. You got to keep doing. You got to keep on doing what it is that you need to do. So anyway, just want to encourage you there. But anyway, got up from that and started moving, started looking, and talked to some of my friends and telling them, you know, hey, I'm getting ready to start a daycare in my home. I'm getting ready to start a daycare in my home. And so I called up a friend of mine and told him, hey, I'm getting ready to start a daycare in my home. And so he was like, I'm so glad you called me because my kids need a place to go. And so it was one of my classmates. So I was really excited about that. Ended up getting his kids, and he was a minister, and so he told some of his congregation, and because he brought his kids, then some of his congregation members, they came and they brought their kids, and I went from 3 kids to 4 kids, 5 kids, 6 kids, and got all the way up to 10 kids, you know, and that's all I could have. And so then I was getting really nervous because, you know, that's all I could have in my house, and that's all I was licensed for in my home. And so I started looking, and I was getting nervous, getting scared all over again because I didn't want to get in trouble. And I called up a friend of mine, and she was the owner of the daycare center that I have now. And called up Miss Joe. I love Miss Joe. And she said, hey girl, when you gonna come on and buy my center? I said, woo, I wanna come and buy it right now. So anyway, went over there, checked it out. But this is the kicker, y'all. I was trying to get that daycare 10 years ago, and I couldn't get it. Nothing was working. So I said that to say sometimes it's the timing. You know, sometimes things don't work because the timing is not right. But then the timing was right. I told her that I had been through a divorce, the same story that I told the other people. Well, ended up going to the bank, told the loan officer, you know, my credit was messed up, was honest with him, and he gave me favor, and I was able to get the loan. And so anyway, got the loan. We got the daycare center, and boy, I tell you, my life changed forever then, because it ended up being a larger daycare. I was licensed for a lot more children, and it just changed our lives. And so that was always my dream, to have a large daycare center. Well, the blessing was in that we ended up having multiple streams of income. The Lord blessed us with multiple businesses. We ended up acquiring rental properties and things like that. But like I said, it did not happen overnight. And we worked really, really hard. And now we've been in the business over 30 years. And it has really been exciting. I was able to help a lot of children. We would have graduations and all that. I just enjoy what I do, working with the children. And now my husband he's been in the ministry for a long time now, and we have a church also. So God has really been blessing us over the years. But I just wanted to encourage you ladies out there whom have probably been through divorce and might be single and you know, just went through the things that I've gone through. And a lot of people didn't know my story. You know, they see your glory, as they say, but they don't know your story. But went through a lot of different things, and you're going to go through a lot of different changes, and it doesn't happen overnight. You know, I just want to keep stressing that to the young people out there who may view this video. It's not going to happen overnight, but you got to keep trusting God. You got to keep moving. You got to keep doing what it is that you need to do in order to get where you need to get. So if I've said something on the video this evening that has touched you, I want to connect with you. My email address is berthagermanyinfo@gmail.com, or you can get me on Facebook at Bertha Germany and Instagram at Bertha Germany. Thank you. Have a blessed day.
Hello, I want to share with you a few strategies and tips that can get you through those moments when you feel overwhelmed by the goals you have set for yourself, overwhelmed by the actions that are required to make those goals a reality. Your goals, of course, you already know that your goals must be SMART goals. And also, if you're feeling overwhelmed by all of the to-dos that you have when it comes to your professional life, when it comes to your family life, whether you're married, whether you're a single parent, or whether it's just you by yourself, when you're just overwhelmed by everything that is required of you, when you have so much to do that you actually think about it more than, and think about it longer than it actually take to get the task done. If you're like me, I've had many of those moments. I sit down and I think about what all I have to do. If I quit thinking about it, I could have accomplished something while I'm sitting there toiling and just dwelling in those down times. The strategies and tips that I want to share with you, they fall into 3 categories. The first category has to do with your mindset. Your mindset that's where it all began. What you think about, you bring about. My name is Astonda Draper. My profession, I'm a business service advisor. I render the services of accounting. I render the service of professional development. I'm the founder and CEO of Holmes Draper Consulting Group, as well as S3 Inc., which stands for Sisters Supporting Sisters. I've been on this journey of actually taking the action, actually being intentional about my life, the action steps that I take, taking control of my time for about 2 years now. There was times when I would, as I relax and take my bubble bath, I would actually sit and look at the vision wall that I have in my bathroom, showing my vision board and everything, and I would get bubblies in my stomach just knowing and could visualize the life that I want. But I just did not know how to get there, how to get started. But I decided to take that step and to invest in myself. I had to take that step and take that leap alone. So I want to share with you some strategies and tips that I've learned as I travel along this journey. And I have definitely become to learn and realize what they mean by it's a journey, not a destination. That is so true. It definitely is a journey, not a destination. And I would ask, if you don't mind, get a pen and pencil so you can take notes. If you have an aha moment, if anything resonates with you, I ask that you reach out to me and let me know. Send me a text message, including your name and where you're from. You can text me, reach me at 817-800-5309. Again, you can text me at 817-800-5309. I would love to hear from you. I give you a moment to get your pen and paper and pencil together, because these are things, as I stated, that are very personable to me, that have helped. And I guarantee if you use these strategies and tips, they will help you as well. The first one in the category of mindset has to do with gratitude. Gratitude has to do with being thankful for where you are and for what you have at this moment. It doesn't mean being grateful, and you don't have to feel bad for desiring more, but you're just letting God know, Lord, I thank you for what you've done for me already. I thank you for how far you've brought me. I thank you for today. I thank you for yesterday. I thank you for the sight of that I can see. Thank you for keeping me clothed in my right mind. Thank you for the roof over my head. Thank you for my family, my friends, those who like you, don't like you for whatever reason, those that push you. Thank God for your uniqueness. We're all so unique that God gave us our own fingerprints, our own DNA. You are special. We are special. We are all special. So I ask that you first begin by gratitude, just being thankful for what you have, the small things in life. If you be grateful for the small things, God will reward you with greater things. So that's the first thing I ask that you reflect on, and to just stop and be grateful during those times when you just don't feel like getting up and doing that action step that you know you need to do. Is have gratitude. The next step, I would ask that you, the tip I want to give to you is affirm. Affirm who you are, who you know you are. Affirm who you are through affirmations. I am. I am is a powerful statement. You are, affirm who you are. There's an activity that I do with the ladies that I speak with on a monthly basis at our local women's center here in the area. I speak there once a month. And there's one activity that I've done with them and other groups, my monthly sisters meetings that I have on a monthly basis. One of the major ones that I do is an I am affirmation. And with that affirmation, you get very colorful. You can get very creative with it. Make it beautiful. Put your stamp on it. Within those I am affirmations, you write 3 to 5 adjectives that describe you using each letter of the alphabet. For example, the letter A, I am amazing. I am adorable. I am just awesome. The letter, for example, the letter C, I am calm. I am courageous. I am caring. I am careful. Just go through each letter of the alphabet and describe yourself. The letter R, I am romantic. I am radiant. Just go through, and you will be amazed at the letters that you can come up with. You can do this in a group setting or do it just alone. Do it with your sons and your daughters. And post it in an area of your home, at your workplace, where you visit a lot of times, where you can see it. And so the gratitude, affirmations, and also I ask that you journal your journey. As I stated before, it's a journey, not a destination. As you go through and you have your good days and your not so good days, journal those moments. So it will give you a place where you can go back and reflect that particular evening or moment or situation that you just did not know how you was going to overcome that, how you were going to get through it. You go back and read through your journal. And when you having those good days, you go back and you think, why was I worried about that? Why was I didn't think I could make it through it. So when you have those moments, you can go back and reflect, that wasn't anything. If I made it through that situation, I can make it through this one. And just being self-aware as to who you are. I also ask that you self-care. Take care of yourself. Reward yourself for what you have done, what you've accomplished. Go for a walk. You can go for a walk outside and enjoy the breeze of the air. Drink water. Water is so important for our bodies. It, to me, gives clarity. And it's good for our skin. It's good to help us maintain our weight, to lose weight. It is so important. So I ask that you do some self-care. Go treat yourself to a nice dinner. Treat yourself to a movie. So if you have to learn, you set the tone as to how you will be treated. If you don't treat yourself and reward yourself for how great and adorable and amazing and dedicated you are, how do you expect others to? So I ask that you do self-care. And when you feel it, you have all these things on your mind, you don't know which way to turn, I ask that you also use the strategy of what I call brain dump. Everything that's going on in your mind to do, just write it down. Just get it out of your head and get it on paper. You would be amazed at how better you feel. And as you're going through or doing those tasks, you can check them off as you accomplish those goals. So in the area of mindset, again, gratitude. Being grateful and thankful for what you have. Affirm. Affirm who you are, who you know you are, who you would like to be. Speak those things as though they were. Self-care. Treat yourself. Reward yourself for what you have accomplished. Brain dump. Write out what's on your mind so you can get clear and focused. Journal your journey so you have that to reflect back on. The next area that I want to encourage you to work on is when you're feeling down is do something nice for someone else. Go and volunteer at your local, at a local nonprofit organization. That's what I do at the Women's Center once a month. I go there and I speak to those who are seeking jobs, who are down and out. Do a smile on their face. Give them a hug. Give them a nice hello. Go to your local food bank and maybe you can work at feeding the homeless. You realize just how blessed you are. Those they come there to those centers not knowing what that meal is going to be, what they're going to be fed, but they're grateful and they're thankful. It helps you to realize that things could be so much worse. That when you think about it, you think things really aren't that bad. They aren't as bad as you think they are. Pay it forward. If you're in a drive-through line at a restaurant, fast food, put so much, tell the cashier, I want to pay $5 on the person's order behind me. Have you ever had anyone to do that for you? You get an unexpected blessing and you don't know where it come from, and the person that gave it to you, they're not looking for anything in return. A lot of times we do community service and help others. It is just as much a blessing to the person that's receiving it as it is to you who are doing it. If you remember, I know you've oftentimes heard someone say it's better to give than to receive. That's where the community service area there can help you. I guarantee you feel better. The next area I want to ask that you can work on is surround yourself with someone who are also on this journey. Someone else who can understand and can relate, who are actually serious about making their goals a reality. It is so easy to say, I'm going to start a business, or I'm going to go back to school. There are so many things that are required, that's behind the scenes, that people don't see. They often see the success. They see the outcome, but they don't know what it actually took to actually go through and file your paperwork, to incorporate your business, to go to the bank and open up that bank account, to get that tax ID number, to actually apply for school, to actually sit and study for your entrance exam into school. When people see you doing great things and they see your action steps and you being consistent, you will be amazed at the help that could come forth. People who are willing to help you. I oftentimes say trajectory. You never know where that blessing would come from. I recall hearing one person say that there's always somebody watching you who can bless you, who has an answer to what you're dealing with. So surround yourself with like-minded, successful people who are on the path, who can understand and relate what it's like when all of a sudden blessing come your way, when someone tell you of an opportunity and you don't know, you're kind of afraid and hesitant to actually make that step. You need to surround yourself with someone who can understand, who can cheer you on and tell you to go for it. It actually takes guts. It takes a commitment to actually go through and to actually make things, to take those action steps. Make sure your goals are SMART goals. There is so much that I have learned during this time that it actually take in setting goals. You know, they say make sure your goals are SMART. If you don't know what SMART goals are, the acronym stands for specific. Be specific about what you're wanting to accomplish. You may say, I want to lose weight. Well, how much weight do you want to lose? Make sure your goals are measurable. Make sure your goals are actionable, relevant to what you're wanting to accomplish. Why do you want to accomplish that goal? Time. During which time frame do you want to accomplish that specific goal? I'll go back to the letter M in being measurable. What's required? How can you measure your progress into those goals that you want to accomplish? When you surround yourself with like-minded people, successful people who are actually taking steps and constructing and actually out there to do it, they can understand when you get that bubbly feeling in your stomach. You don't know, should I jump? Should I not jump? Should I take that step? I don't know. Ooh. When you go through and you've actually put it out there in the atmosphere that you want to accomplish, that you want to go back to school, but you don't know where the funds are going to come from to actually go through and apply for that scholarship. You need someone around you, a good community around you that could cheer you on, that could pray with you, that could tell you the pros and cons. You don't know what you don't know. You'll be amazed at that and the ask. If any of this has resonated with you, I ask you again, I would love to travel along this journey with you and to be there, to be that cheerleader, telling you to go. It's okay. If you make a wrong decision, it's okay to pivot and turn. It's not going to be a straight and narrow way. It's going to be stressful. It's going to take work. I would love to be there in your corner, cheering you on. And I would love to hear from you if any of this resonated with you. I can be reached at 817-800-5809. Again, I can be reached at 817-800-5809. You can also reach me on Instagram. My Instagram handle is I am Astonda, ASTONIDA. Again, it's I am Astonda, I am ASTONIDA. I want to, again, thank you for tuning in and listening to these tips. as you travel along your journey, because you cannot make it by yourself. There's always someone out there that's willing to help and to cheer you on. I would love to be your cheerleader. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Brenda Sawyer, and I'm so excited and honored to be one of the speakers here at the Jewel Tankards Millionaires Conference 2019, Building Wealth Through Innovation. I'm the author of Encouraging Words for the Mind, Spirit, and Soul, and also the CEO and founder of Girls Walking with Integrity, Empowering for Destiny, an organization which empowers young women between the ages of 8 and 18 to be the leaders that God has called them to be in every arena of their lives. Now, this is such an appropriate conference because March is Women's Month. March is Women's Month, and this is such a great conference to have all of the women gathered together and becoming empowered. Well, I want to pose a question to you, which will lead up to my topic. How many of you remember the game Follow the Leader? Follow the Leader. Well, Follow the Leader may not be, I don't know if it's still played now, but Follow the Leader was where you had a group of children who followed a leader. The leader would hop on one leg, and the other children, which were the followers, would actually follow that leader. The leader perhaps would put his hand, say his right hand, on top of his head and hop around. And the followers would have to do the same exact thing. Now what happens is, if the followers don't follow that leader exactly and do exactly what that leader is doing, they're out of the game. Yes, they're out of the game. And the one that does all of the things that that leader does, the follower that does all of the things or follows all of the things that that leader does, is the winner. Then he becomes the leader. Now, I'd like to think that we're all leaders in a different capacity. We're all leaders. You know, we're made in God's image. He made us and he created us in his own image and likeness. So we have his